Welcome back to Karuna Satori Basic. It has been a while, and I hope that you guys are doing a lot better than you were in 2020, but judging by the fact that I am filming this video not even 24 hours after the Capitol has been stormed, I doubt that we're all doing just, grand at the moment. But I am making this video to let you guys know whether you are a follower of this channel or a family member of Karuna Satori ASMR that I am finally returning back to this channel. So I initially created this channel for commentary, story times, just basic bitch shit, which is why this channel is called Karuna Satori Basic. You may have noticed a little bit of revamp, I guess, if you will. I changed my profile picture. I put in a small description of the definition of basic or a quote or something like that. A new banner. I did channel trailers for returning subscribers and people who are just coming on to subscribe. I know many of you are just subscribed to this channel simply because you found me from one of the videos here and you're not even into ASMR. That's great too. And I know a lot of you are anticipating a direct statement in regards to the last video that was on this channel, which is why I chose to abandon it in the first place for a long time. I totally put this channel off to the side. I had a lot of other things going on, including the situation I personally put myself in at that time. I will talk a little bit about that situation. There were two incidents last year in 2020 that I involved myself in from my own actions. One, positivity came out of it, and the other I just would like to put in my past because of a few certain things I don't want to talk about, but I'll give the very vaguest statement that I can because there's no need to revisit old wounds or like reopen old wounds or whatever. Sponsored by Mountain Dew. No. So, you're probably wondering, what am I even going to do over here now? Like, I have invested my entire life in ASMR. It is how I make my money. It is how I live my life. I base my entire life around that channel. It is so important to me. It's everything to me. And I'm sure a lot of you are wondering why I left here, and as I just explained, but the fact that, I never posted enough on this channel anyway to be consistent, but I really have a goal in 2021 to do that. I have a lot of things to talk about. I have a lot of crazy, psycho-ass story times that have happened in the past couple years that I just kind of stopped doing, and I guess it's because as our platform over on Karuna Satori ASMR grew larger, not all of those people are good people. In fact, recently, many of you know that I just quit OnlyFans, not for good. I do plan to come back when I am fully ready, when I am fully excited and, in the moment and ready to make that kind of content, if you will. But for right now, a situation occurred in real life that jeopardized my family, and this was due to a video that was made about me and my OnlyFans. And I know, trust me, I will talk a little bit about this in a bit, but I am very aware that I cannot control what people say about me, and I don't want to control what people say about me, but it's when dangerous threats or situations and things like that come from that turn into real life, that it can be very, very serious for the person involved or the main person in the story. So anyway, I wanted to revisit a little bit about my 2020 and some of my downfalls, some of my, glow-ups, if you will. Basically, we can start with the glow-ups. Because the downfalls are basically what brought me back here. It's what made me realize, where is my future going? What's going to happen? I'm 29. Am I going to be here when I'm 50 years old? What's going on? So if you'd like to stick around and listen to this video, because there's going to be two videos on Karuna Satori Basic today, this update video, and I have a little WEREPUP unboxing. I know you guys love the Psycho Reborn unboxings. I've got Einstein here, which is, you can find his video over on Karuna Satori ASMR. Just type in Karuna WEREPUP unboxing, and here he is. But the one I'm unboxing today is a vinyl. It's a vinyl one. Vinyl. Oh god. I don't know the difference between cartridge and cartilage, vinyl and vinyl. I am completely uneducated. I'm a high school dropout. I have no idea why so many of you follow me on Karuna Satori ASMR. We'll never know, but it's okay. So, some of my glow-ups in 2020. What were some of my accomplishments that I am really proud of? Well, let's see. I am very, very pleased with the fact, and I guess this is kind of in late 2019 this happened, so it really doesn't count in 2020, but I'll get into that. I purchased my first home, and in 2020 we made the decision that we are buying a second home. We are buying down in Virginia Beach. We are pretty sure that this is going to happen probably mid-2021. I'm not sure. I'm trying not to say as many times. I'm just, it's really hard for me to talk about my proud moments because my proud moments have always stemmed from the most terrible situations in the world, such as, the situation with my children or, family situations or me being broke and being an addict and things like that. You know what I mean? So to succeed from actual success, succeed more from success, it's really hard for me to talk about because I don't ever want to seem like I'm bragging or I'm like, ooh, look at me now. Like I used to be a piece of shit and I still am now with a little bit of money. Like that's not it. Yeah, so we purchased our first home, and in 2020, we remodeled that home so much. We put wooden floors down, and let me tell you, and let me tell those whom, I guess, rent, that if you're wanting to buy a house and you can't do it right now, you can't afford it, or your credit's bad, I promise you, with all of my person, your day will come. I promise you, you will have your own home someday. If I could do it, you can do it. And how I did it, which I know some of you probably don't want to hear this, but I had to get my credit back. And if you don't have any credit, here is my absolute best advice that I can give, which if it's coming from me, it's probably shitty. But, if you have nobody else to listen to, you can always listen to me. Open a debit card, a prepaid debit/credit card. I'm telling you right now, you put down $500, which is what I put down on a Capital One card about 2.5, 3 years ago. And what it does is basically you make purchases and then you pay it off. You don't pay it off right away. Always pay it off on the due date. People always say, oh, pay it off right away. Make a bunch of purchases, pay it off right away. Do not do that shit, okay? It never counts, and eventually they're going to catch on to that. Do not do that. Second off, after paying off my credit, you have to have a down payment, and you can apply once you get your credit score up in the 600s. That was last year, around June of 2019, or 2 years ago almost. In June of 2019 is when we started applying, and they said my credit score had to be about a 635 and above. And now I have almost perfect credit, which I'm very proud of. But that is one thing. So just a little bit of a, unwarranted, unsolicited advice is definitely work on credit if you ever want to get a house. So anyway, as I was saying, as somebody who's rented for so long, being able to not have to fucking answer to anybody other than our damn selves because we own our house. It's like, you know what I mean? I could, light one room on fire and put a room of gold in the other one. I can do whatever I want. It's my house. I'm so grateful for that. And last year I started, my husband would, he was redoing all the floors. We got all new carpeting in the house, and I was decorating. Now my decorating sucks, but I've gotten a lot of art in the house. I redid my office, which I'll include a picture here. It's somewhere where I feel absolutely comfortable to do my minimal edits and, answer many of our comments over here and over there and everything. But again, this channel has been so stagnant since I abandoned it. Let's see, what else am I pretty proud of in 2020. There's a few things. I had 2 articles written about me in 2020. There's just, I guess it was just stemming from different growth. I financially grew in 2020, which I was very proud of. But unfortunately, there are some downsides, which is what I'm going to kind of get into next. But there was a positive situation, I guess, in my own head that happened from something else. So with all the, just kind of stagnant growth, or not stagnant growth, but growth happening in my life in 2020. You know, the pandemic started to happen. I got involved in 2 situations and then one side situation, which I refuse to take any accountability for because I did nothing wrong. I'm not a victim, but I did nothing wrong. But 2 situations, which I know one of them many of you would like me to address, seeing as you're not part of Karuna Satori ASMR, and the last video, as I said earlier on this channel, was really bad. The first creator that I just decided to open my mouth with was Creepshow Art. Now, you may have noticed that my reply video to her is deleted, and I deleted it in a positive way, in a positive aspect. I have no trouble, I have no problems with Shannon. I like Shannon, and I actually watch her videos to this day, funny enough. And I still did after she made the video about me. Like, I'm like, so fuck, I'm gonna still watch her videos. She makes good commentary. Like, fuck, I just thought she was being mean. What happened was, earlier, right before the pandemic, I saw a video that she made from Jaclyn Hill, or to Jaclyn Hill, and it was about, Shannon spoke about her father, and I didn't really agree with that. Actually, I really didn't agree with that, and I was just like, well, since I'm, you know, on my period and being a raging bitch, why not, you know, take it out, even though I have a platform of people who follow me and care about me, and I could potentially, you know, make a bad example. And that's exactly what I did. I randomly got on Twitter one day during, like, one of my emotional, whiny rages, and I was like, Shannon, you're a bully, you're this, you're that, like, you know what I mean? And I was just, like, being a cunt. And she even stated in her anti-vax defender video, which, let me at least say this, at one point in time, yes, I did not believe in vaccinating. Like, they've always been up to date on vaccines, but I have been the person who is like, I don't know what's in those, why are you doing this, like. But after being educated and, you know, teaching myself and, like, others teaching me, like, hey, this isn't right. And this was well before 2015 and above that this was happening. Like, my son was born in 2012, and that's whenever I was, like, petrified of everything. I was petrified of circumcising my son. I was petrified everything. I was trying to be that, like, fake natural person who's like, even though I eat like McDonald's on the side, I'm like, don't put vaccines in me, you know what I mean, like, completely uneducated. And I learned from that, so that's one thing I'd like to, like, always stand my ground on. Anyway, though, basically what came from that situation is she said in the video that she was, like, ignoring all my tweets, and I started going on other pages and talking about her, and altogether I think there was about 6 tweets that I made that were, like, you know, just like, oh, Shannon's a bully, Shannon shouldn't, you know, talk like this and everything. And she's even found herself in some controversy, but I'd like to think that her and I have kind of a similar mindset in regards to taking accountability. The only difference is she's in a whole other realm on YouTube. It was pretty stupid of me, first off, because number one, sometimes I really do, and that has to go with the next situation, sometimes I really do forget that I have such a following over on Karuna Satori ASMR that when I'm on other platforms just kind of running my mouth thinking I can say whatever I want, that's just not okay. It sets a bad example for those who, you know, take the time to follow me or subscribe or be a family member. I run a group now on Facebook with over 3,000 members, and it's a very personal, connected group, and I guarantee if I went over there today and started saying some shit like that, they'd put me right in my place. I truly feel like a family with these people, but like I said, sometimes family makes mistakes, and that day in my period rage, I just went off. Anyway, what came from that is she eventually made a video on that, and I made a reply video, and after that, like I said, I just still watched her videos, but we found ourselves kind of going after another person, but for the right reasons. That person being Chris Hansen. A childhood idol of mine decided to come to the YouTube platform and completely expose himself to a money-hungry, greedy old man who likes to forget about victims, ignore them, and then sell the entire story that he did for money. I'm sure many of you know the Onision Chris Hansen story. Shannon and I found ourselves in the same chat, and we were kind of like rooting for one another as we went out, like, or went off on Chris, asking, you know, really valid questions like, why are you not listening to the victims anymore? Why have you promised this? Why have you promised that? And then a couple days later, I got a message from one of our family members saying that Shannon had mentioned me in her video, and she stated, although Karuna and I do not get along, you know, or agree with each other's views, at the same time, we can at least agree that Chris Hansen's a piece of shit. And I basically took that as, okay, so, you know, we don't have problems anymore, like, in that respect. Like, I'm not going to open my mouth. And I did state in the reply video anyway, I was like, I know where, you know, I opened my mouth a little too much. So we're good on that. Shannon and I are not best friends. We don't talk. We don't, as Peter Mon would say, go to the Chinese buffet together. It's just a dead situation. And you know what's funny is, like, all the other commentary creators and all the other ASMR creators were saying the same thing. Like, it was the dumbest, most blown up drama in the entire world. And, you know, that's another thing I'd like to touch on. I don't know if it's just because of my mouth, if it's just because, I don't know, I'm very open with my, like, past or whatever, why people love to, like, come to me. Like, I've been labeled allegedly the Jeffree Star of the ASMR community last year, and I was just like, absolutely fucking not, but okay. Like, you know, as much as Jeffree Star's a piece of shit, a racist piece of shit, I personally think that, you know, somebody once said I looked like him, and I was like, I'll take that compliment. I'll at least take that compliment. Jafar Star can, you know, as somebody who called him once, like, he can be a piece of shit all he wants, but I don't mind being called like that physically, like, you know what I mean? But anyway, I'd like to think that I'm nothing like that person. I'd like to think that, you know, it just sucks because although I had this, I guess, thought that, you know, I could just open my mouth because I was a viewer of Shannon's channel, that I could just casually do whatever I want, you know what I mean? And just, like, tell her as a subscriber how I felt, but little did I know. And I also forget that a lot, the people are watching, you know what I mean? People do follow my social media accounts, like, people do reply, and my tweets do show up in places, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I just really hate the fact that some people believe that I have this victim mentality when I apparently believe that everything is everyone else's fault but my own. And as a recovering addict, I think that's one of, not the first things, but very, very quickly after we choose to recover, that accepting responsibility for our own actions is probably the most important thing when, you know, recovering from drug addiction. It's something that we need to take accountability for our own actions and realize that we're not a victim. Like, when I was an addict, you know, stealing from my grandmother, like, she didn't have those diamonds in her house, you know what I mean? It's like, no, I'm not blaming her. It's like, I was just trying to get drugs or something like that. And the fact is, I need to take accountability, and I think I do that. But one thing that I knew I could work on in 2020 is making sure I think before I open my fucking mouth. And that kind of leads to the next negative thing that happened on social media in 2020. Now, I'm going to be very careful with how I present this. And if I present it wrong, that's fine. If I present it bad or anything, I know my intentions. I know what I was thinking. I guess, see, this is a hard one because what I did, I felt like I was doing the right thing, if that makes sense, but at the same time, I didn't consider how that would affect said person. And that leads us into the most recent video that was on Karuna Satori Basic previously. I'm not mentioning the name of this creator. You will notice that this video, before this video, has been deleted, and the apology video has also been privatized on Karuna Satori ASMR. Let me state this right now, that there are reasons that that video is privatized. There are reasons that I did not leave it up. There are reasons that I do not want to revisit that situation at all. And let's get into it, I guess. So back when the pandemic started and George Floyd's tragic murder happened, the BLM movement, Black Lives Matter, started going strong again. And at this point made history. During this time, as somebody who said some very hateful things in the past regarding Spanish-speaking people and things like that's what the tweet was about. I, said to myself, I'm going to do my best as somebody who learned from long ago to use my voice for good. Now, when I say use my voice for good, I wasn't necessarily at the time thinking when I called this creator out, but regarding the Black Lives Matter movement itself, I did my best to voice my opinion and, you know, use my platform to bring light to the situation, bring light to the fact that to this day, racism is just alive and unfortunately well. But the good thing, or the good news, is that Trump's about to be out of office, and thank fucking God, maybe we can start making a true change with a different president who doesn't consistently promote racism and thugs. Please. Anyway, so after I made that video, which is We Need to Change, over on Karuna Satori ASMR, I was like retweeting things, I was talking about things, I was giving my opinion, this and that, and I was like, I think I'm really doing a good job. Like, I think I'm truly being an ally and doing the best I can. But one day, on my Twitter feed, I get on and there is a tweet with a screenshot from another ASMR creator, which is the one in the subject right now, that said, you know, they want to keep politics off their channel. And since it was like right smack dab in the middle of this situation with George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, like everything, I was like, so you're saying that the Black Lives Matter movement is politics to you? Instantly, I just like got rage. I was like, why would an ASMR creator say this? You know, I retweeted and I said, you are trash. You are, you know, vile for doing this. Like, this is gross. Like, you know, this and that. And after that, it got a lot of responses, and a lot of those creators have since deleted their tweets and, you know, Instagram stories and comments under the Instagram post initial with that creator and YouTube videos. Which rightfully so, and I have done the same. And what happened from that is this creator did happen to get a lot. I don't see, that's the thing, is I did not see how much actually came from that. And that's exactly where it takes back to sometimes I just forget or just don't consider that people are watching, and I am what they call an influencer, or, you know, content creator, whatever, somebody who has a large following, who has an influence to tell these people how the creator feels and, you know, can influence them to do this, that, or the other. So anyway, what came from that was a video, and over that video, that creator was crying. And to this day, it is heartbreaking because I created the situation. I made it all happen. This was all me. I am not a victim. I am not, you know, I don't feel bad for myself. The only thing that was negative from that situation in my personal life was I basically took a positive, consistent mental health and flushed it down the fucking toilet that night. Like, I was just like, see you later, bye, like, come on, suicidal, you know what I mean? Like, it was terrible. And that was me. That was nobody else but me. Anyway, this person made a video stating that they, you know, were getting all these kinds of death threats and that they didn't mean their initial Instagram posts and tweets and everything else. And I remember that night the first thing I saw was somebody was on my YouTube studio, like, as a comment, and they said, have you seen this creator's video about you yet? And I was just like, ugh, like, here we go with, you know, somebody making a commentary video about me, or this, or, you know, something else. But it turned out to be the creator I tweeted about. And it just started pouring in, and I started getting all these phone calls, people that I hadn't talked to for years, like, oh my god, what's going on with you? Like, why are you everywhere? Why is this happening? It turns out because of that video, you know, they were addressing that they got threats because of my tweets. This is kind of why I backed away from the situation, and after about a month or two, kind of privatized and deleted my videos because I just don't want to revisit it. There's a lot more to the situation that has nothing to do with me anymore. Anyway, all of the hate, and instantly I was starting to read things, and I'm not going to go into all the things that people said about me, that people still say about me, that people say I'm a bully or this or that. I don't believe it, and I don't agree. But I knew that I had fucked up. And when I saw this creator crying, I was like, you know what? Obviously, I did something to put them in this situation when they were just casually living their life like I was a day before. So I got on here on Karuna Satori Basic, and I just hurried up and got on, and I was like, look, I am so sorry for this. Like, my mental health is starting to plummet. Like, I don't understand why I'm getting all this hate, even though I'm the one who made the tweet. You know what I mean? So then, after that, like the next day, yeah, that's whenever, I know that's, I'm pretty sure it was, I'm not sure if it was the same day that I made the apology on Karuna, Satori ASMR, but I privatized the video over here because people just weren't having it. And I don't blame them. It was such a quick response that I didn't have time to really like think about what I wanted to say and how I wanted to apologize. It just basically sounded like, I want to cover my ass, so I'm sorry, which wasn't true. I just was so overwhelmed with the hate that I was getting over thinking that I did something right, which I didn't. So anyway, leads up to the next day. I got no sleep that night. I woke up. I was like, I need to make things right. Then I see that this creator had made a Twitter account, and their Twitter account said, all the people who Karuna Satori has bullied, comment under here so we could get her off this platform. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, why is this happening? And like, then people were like, okay, you need to calm down. And they were saying that they were receiving people banging on their door in the middle of the night, blaming me for it. And I was just like, I need to get on and make a public apology about this. And then after I made that public apology, it happened to go on trending. And then that brought hundreds, thousands of people from different realms of the internet, like ridiculous amounts of people, like from the gaming community, from commentary community, which they never even covered it, which is interesting to me. See, it's just a very difficult situation. I made that apology video, and after that, this creator and I ended up getting on, and because I messaged them and I said, you know, I stood by what I said in regards to thinking that you were comparing the BLM movement to politics. What I don't stand by is the words that I used during, and I never, ever sent any of our family members or subscribers or anybody to attack you. And because of that, I'm sorry that that happened, but I can't take responsibility for people making threats to you. Just like kind of how, you know, threats being made to me in a future situation I'll be talking about very briefly, can't be helped. But I apologize to you, and I'm sorry. And then after that, after we kind of aired our grievances, this creator made another video saying that we talked and hoped that we could all move on from it. And I think it was very nice. I think that because they're a lot older, number one, and obviously they've been on this earth longer than I have and have experienced things in their lifetime that I haven't got, you know, trauma, just like all kinds of things. A lot of older people were much wiser in that respect, and definitely looking at their channel and actually looking into that creator, I saw, hey, you know what, like, their channel isn't anything negative, nothing negative, you know what I mean, that I saw, and it was wrong. And I take accountability for that to this day. And that's kind of what I wanted to address in regards to the last video that was on this channel. Is because it was a shitty apology, number one, and number two, I abandoned it. I abandoned this channel afterwards. Completely out of line, completely wrong. But, what was it? About 3 months later, as I said, some things came to my attention, and I deleted that video, and I have since removed myself from the situation. Unfortunately for me, because I made that situation happen, I am consistently and constantly known as a bully, which I refuse. Like, I fucking refuse to take that title. Like, you guys can throw it at me, whoever, like, get fucked, go shove it up your ass. It reminds me of that meme that's like, I'm so excited for fall, I'm gonna go fill my ass with leaves. You can fill your ass with, I'm apparently a bully. Fuck off. Anyway. Let me make this very clear. After the past year that I think that we all have, the last fucking thing that I am going to allow somebody to make is a false narrative about me, because I have personally done it to other people without thinking. I have revisited that situation from an outside perspective, walking in their shoes, seeing how my words affected them, and also from people coming into my shoes saying that I am that person and looking at that perspective. And in this day and age, a false narrative, which I will get into in a moment, which leads up to the previous situation, is dangerous. And that's where I come in with the last negative situation that happened in 2020. And I am not going to explain how this happened. I'm going to make this very minimal. And then I'd like to get into what the future holds for Karuna Satori Basic. I had to smoke a cigarette before talking about this last part. So, let me make this very clear. I will absolutely not be giving this creator who did this video on me any airtime for their channel. The fact that 800 to 1,000 people subscribed to their channel after this situation is fucking gross. What I went through in regards to the physical in-person situation that happened, which I will just make a very simple statement about it here in a moment. A creator made a video about me and my adult work that I had always kept everywhere else except for the YouTube platform, besides an 18+ warning with 2 links below it. Because first of all, that work is behind a paywall, other than when people link it or leak it, which I have since quit this website, which I will explain why. Completely blowing up the comments. A few creators caught wind of this video and did not agree and voiced their opinion in the comments. This creator started stating that I sent my followers after them. Bullshit. Absolute fucking bullshit. I refuse to believe anybody's narrative that they come up with saying that I sent my people to attack their people. Fuck off. Like, no fucking way. I'm very hurt over that video. I'm very triggered over that video. I need that, like, meme where that girl's like, I am that girl right now. After all of the things that happened that transpired over this video, and also let me make this clear, I never asked them to take it down. I have a whole half-hour conversation of us where I literally say I do not want my face in that thumbnail, and that's it. She offered to take my name out of the title. I said, you know what? I cannot stop when people make commentary videos about me. It's just the comments. And you know what her response was? Well, I'm getting hate, and I feel like I'm being attacked right now out of doing something, you know, on my channel, and I'm going to stand my ground, and that's just not fair. I explained how hurt I was over the video. Don't take it down. But what happened from that very short explanation, they started liking comments that were very, very, I guess at first just kind of like snarky. And then it turned into full-blown, someone needs to call CPS on this woman. She's doing adult work in her house where her kids reside. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. And what stemmed from that was I had an agency show up at my door in real life because somebody notified this agency of completely false information from a video they saw online exposing my OnlyFans. And because of that, I have quit OnlyFans. And again, this will not be permanently, because let me also make this clear. I do not do that shit with my kids around. I do not film with my children around. I am in a studio, which you can see if I turn you around here. This is where all of the action goes down. And when this happened, I was so humiliated and embarrassed and hurt over this. And then still hearing that this creator is now using my name in their tags, which a lot of creators do that. I used to use GB's name in my tags whenever she started blowing up as a creator. But the only difference was that GB and I are friends and on good terms. And I'm not over here, you know, with my kids' lives being put in jeopardy because of false information that another creator liked after making that video about me. I am devastated over it. I was shook over it. I had to provide all kinds of proof over it. And it has since been closed off, done with. This was a very short, probably in a week and a half situation that put me so down that I was just like, I can't believe I'm even questioning like being on the platform anymore. And that is it. And what happened in 2020, the first two situations that I caused myself, and then the third situation, which let me also explain that there is so much more in-depth shit that has come from this situation. Do not go and attack this creator. Do not go and say, you're fucked up for this, you're fucked up for that. I don't want anything going to them. And anybody who decides that they're going to come over here and say, you got what you deserved after what you did for the other one, you're all fucked up. You're all fucked up, and I don't want you on any of the channels. Get off Karuna Satori ASMR. Unsubscribe from all of my socials. Get off. I don't want any type of person like that. It's people like that who use other people to climb their way up the platform so they can make money, which I also spoke to this creator about on the phone, that are the most vile fucking people who do not care who they hurt in the process. That was probably the scariest fucking thing that happened to me in 2020 after what came from the situation. Initially, I was just bitter over the fact that they did that without, consulting me first. Like, can we do it together? Can I laugh about it? Can I, be like, hey, this is funny. I did not want it promoted to a demographic of potentially 14-year-olds and under, you know what I mean? Obviously 18-year-old and above, but you know what I mean? Kids that young, seeing that kind of, it's gross. I kept it on other platforms like Twitter, Instagram. In fact, Instagram, I didn't even have that. I didn't even have a link over there. Facebook description and Twitter description. And because of that, I have quit. I could not take it. I will say, I made over $18,000 from that creator, which is great and all. But when my kids' lives are put into jeopardy, or like jeopardized, like put into jeopardy with like Alex Trebek, rest in peace. It's, when they're put in that kind of like situation where CPS, Child Protective Services, is called, it's petrifying. So, like I said, nothing came of that situation. It was just a warning. But at the same time, it's scary. It's really scary. So that is the worst thing that happened to me in 2020, and I have quit that side of YouTube. Funny enough, you can go back and watch my quitting the dark side of YouTube, which is like OnlyFans and adult work. That's so funny. And then I went back to it, and then I left again, only this time more severity has come from it, and a lot of hurt and pain that I have. I feel like in our lives, especially now in this time in the world, it's really hard to keep ourselves, especially as people on social media, and that doesn't give any justification to being a piece of shit whenever you're on the platform. But I find it, as people's channels grow, we are blessed with a very, very comfortable, financially secure, happy life, not having to worry day to day how we're going to pay bills and everything. But don't get anybody wrong when they say that they're struggling with their mental health. Don't get anybody wrong when they say that they're struggling with hatred online. You can have all the fucking money in the world. You can have millions and billions of dollars. But the phrase, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me, is the dumbest fucking phrase whoever made it. Words hurt. I've done it to others. I have really hurt people in that process. People have done it to me. I've been very, very hurt in that process with, repercussions of, putting my children in jeopardy. A lot of stuff. When social media makes its way into your personal life, whether that be from someone else or whether it starts affecting your mental health, take a break, get off the platform, recoup, and see if this is what you want to do. It is insanity over here with 2020 and 2021, and that is my goal this year. I want to focus on this channel. I want to focus on our side channel. I want to focus 100% on ASMR, my platforms, with the amazing people who trust in me, love me, follow me, anything. That is what's important, are those who care about me, who chose to subscribe, who chose to, be here, give me the time of day. I'm blessed for you guys. And 2021, I want to do a video on here every week, maybe sometimes more, but that is my goal for this channel. I have had a lot of blessings, and one thing I did forget to state, one good thing that came out of one of the situations this year was I learned to garden. And I have never in my life, like, other than like eating psychedelic mushrooms, like cared about, you know, like greens, like I got greens, beans, tomatoes, potatoes, not even the lyrics, taking the time to give a shit. But thankfully, a positive that came out of one of those situations is I learned to garden. I learned patience. I learned how to feed squirrels. Many of you have seen that video. If not, I'll insert a little clip here. A lot of personal growth up until today. And what is that quote that everybody says now? I'm not going to be, you know, changing my whole life in 2021. I'm the same basic Karuna bitch that I have always been and always will be, but I will be growing and I will be learning, and I make mistakes and I will make more in the future, probably. Hopefully a lot less than the shit I got myself into this year, and learned from it. And I'm going to be a better person for you guys, for my family, for my children, and for myself. And that's all I can do. So I hope you kind of enjoyed this update / explanation video. I'm really proud of how we are growing and how things are really happening in my life that I never thought would happen, ever. Everybody is so scared and so stressed with politics, with the pandemic, with everything going on trying to change the world. And it's so important we involve ourselves in that. You know, it was up until only like 2 or 3 years ago that I ever cared about politics or involving myself at all. We need to do the best that we can while also taking care of our mental health. Again, if you're a content creator and you're so stressed from, like, you know, feedback you're getting, or unless you're doing something terribly wrong, take a fucking break. And if you're a viewer who's tired of seeing things like the coronavirus online, and, you know, all of the terrible things that the news media outlets just throw at us, take a break if you have the means to do it. One thing that I did learn over the years, whether that be having money or not having money, my family is the most important thing in my entire fucking life. My 2 little kids and my husband. The best feeling is I feel at home with those people. Those people are my little tribe. We are a little tribe of 4, and we thrive when we are intact and together. And just this year has just taught me so much. And I hope that I can make you guys smile, whether that be from ASMR. I'm going to have a WEREPUP unboxing here in a moment, and I just want to make you guys happy. And I want to learn, and I want to grow, and I'm never leaving. One thing I did state, whether that be last year or this year, is I'm never fucking getting off this platform. Never. You know, it's one thing to get off of, you know, the adult side. I will never stop doing what I love, and what I love to do is ASMR. What I love to do is tell people my story, tell people my story times, and let them know that I am the same as all of you. I suffer, I laugh, I'm happy, I'm depressed, I'm everything that you are, every once in a while maybe. But I'm more like with you than you think. So, I don't know. I hope you enjoyed this, like, kind of like out of control update video. I'm so excited to see what comes from Karuna Satori Basic, and I hope you stick around. And if you don't, whether that be from a situation that, you know, I was involved in or I wasn't involved in, that's on you. But for the family who has always stayed with me and believes in me and knows me, I love you, I'm grateful for you, and I wish all of you the best, bad or good. I'll see you in 2021, the rest of it. Bye.